Hi, Rob Saik here, and another AgriTreks. Today I'm in Mexico, and we've taken an opportunity to visit Mama Luchia's Tequila Distillery. And what we're doing here is we're learning a little bit about how they make and grow tequila. The first thing that we've learned is the agave plants that are behind me here are grown between 1,000 and 2,000 meters in elevation. And there are only 5 areas in Mexico where you can actually grow tequila and call it tequila, and anything outside of that is not tequila. So that's, I guess, kind of like Scotch from Scotland, that you can only grow and call it that in Scotland. The tequila, the agave plant takes about 10 years to get into the right size. And when it gets to the right size, they harvest the agave plant, and then they use it in the cooking and the distillation process to make tequila. So the agave plant, and what we're harvesting, is the center part of the plant. So as we get down into the crown area, these leaves will all be chopped off, and what you're left with is a rosetted bud, or basically an agave ball. And we'll have a look at that in just a second. These are the agave plants that are harvested. So you can see here that each one of the cut off areas was the leaf that was extending from this crown area. So these are brought in to this particular distillery, which is in the Puerto Vallarta area. The area where they grow the agave is about 30 miles from here, and it, as mentioned, is between 1,000 and 2,000 meters elevated from sea level. Here they are taking the agave plant, and he's chopping it into smaller pieces that will be put into the firing process. And from what our guide told us, this stuff has got a real fiber into it that can be very, very itchy. So the handling of this split agave plant can be like handling fiberglass, and so they're very careful as to how they handle it. But it's necessary to cut it up so that they can cook it properly in the pit. So to get the agave plants ready to process, what they do is they cook them in a large pit. So this pit here would be fired up with wood at the bottom. The wood then is covered off with volcanic rock. The volcanic rock gets a heat inside of it. Then they cover the whole thing in leaves, and the leaves have got to be watertight, because what they do next is they put water on top of the leaves. I'd like to see that, how they do that. And the water is then heated up, and then the agave is put into the water, and following that they put more leaves on top and soil, and they cook it for 3 days. So he said this is about a week-long process between the preparation of the pit and the final cooking and removal of the agave. So this is the pounding he's doing after they have cooked the agave. They put it into this basically little canoe area here, and they pound it. Why are you pounding it?
That's going to make it easier for me to separate the fibers.
All right.
Separating the fibers makes it easier for me to squeeze the juice out of it. See?
There we go. So that is the beginning of the tequila.
Tequila.
There you go.
So we're going to mix this with water to let it sit and ferment.
So the agave, once it's squeezed out, or it is mashed together, they put it in these containers where it basically ferments, and there's no additives. That's what you said, right?
No additives. And it's going to take 8 to 10 days for it to ferment.
Okay.
Once it becomes alcohol, we have to distill it to separate that alcohol from the water.
And we see that it's bubbling right now, so that's got to be the distillation process going on, right? Or the fermentation process.
Fermentation. It's a chemical reaction. It's transforming the sweetness into alcohol right now.
There it is, the beginning of alcohol.
And that's how we know that it's still in process. When it stays still, like these over here,
yeah,
it's
done.
We know that it's already fermented, but we still have to measure the density.
Okay.
Bricks.
Bricks. So you're using the bricks indices to measure density. That's a sweetness, basically, is what it measures.
Yes.
Yeah. So through the distillation process, they run the fiber through twice. See, what was the amount? 10
liters.
10 liters of the first batch, and?
Oh no, 20 liters out of the first distillation.
Uh-huh.
And at the end, it reduces to 10 liters, but of pure tequila.
Okay, so 20 liters out of the first distillation, and then you redo it, and then you end up with 10 liters of pure tequila after that.
Out of 3 plants.
Out of 3 plants. Okay.
That's the fibers inside. The fermentation goes in here. We put this back on to make it look like that one. And let me use this one as an example. On top, we have a pot that's connected with this bamboo. This bamboo here on top has a hose connected to a water container. So the water goes in and it goes out. The purpose of the water is to keep a pot that we have on top cool. That's what's going to do the condensation.
Right.
Right under the pot, we have another small container which is connected with this tube. This part on top comes off. There's a hole in the middle. We get the fermentation. We empty it in there. We put this back on. We seal the sides with a paste made out of the same agave to keep the steam inside. We put the fire in the bottom, and the fermentation starts to warm up. So it releases the steam, and the steam goes up, and it hits the condenser. It drips, and it comes out.
And so this is the beginning of the refined product.
The first part that comes out is the 10% that we started with in the fermentation that became alcohol. But that 10% still has water and methanol. We have to separate methanol, ethanol, and water.
So once it's the tequila has been distilled down, then you put it into barrels, or you can bottle it. Explain that.
If it doesn't sit in a barrel, if it's just filtered and bottled, the label will say blanco.
All right.
If the tequila sits in a barrel between 2 and 11 months, it'll say reposado, which means reposed or rested. And when it sits in a barrel 1 year and on, then it's considered an añejo tequila.
And so which kind is the best?
The best one of the 3 is the one you like.
The one you like? Okay.
When it sits in a barrel, it gives it more taste of oak. It gives it more aroma of the oak, more color. But everybody's palate is different.
The alcohol content is the same in all cases?
Yep.
Okay. So there's the differences in the classifications of the tequila. All right, so here we are, and we're at the finished product. And which is the product I'm drinking here?
You're drinking tequila añejo.
Añejo, okay.
And it's sat in a barrel 2 years.
2 years. So procedure then for the proper sipping of tequila is what?
First, you have to smell it.
Smell it.
And you have to exhale, blow out. Now, drink it, the whole thing, just swallow it. And after you swallow it with your mouth closed, slowly you're going to inhale through your nose.
Okay.
So, drink the whole thing, inhale through your nose, and slowly exhale through your nose. The aroma will come back.
Whoa. That's very good. This is Mama Luchia's tequila. See?
Right, yeah.
Fantastico. It's very good. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
So there you have it, another AgriTreks. We've been down in the Puerto Vallarta area at Mama Luchia's, which is very close to the Puerto Vallarta airport. It's just a little bit further from the Walmart, and if you look them up on Google, you'll find them. So Rob Saik with another issue of AgriTreks. Enjoy some tequila.